Northwoods TCG is going to do something new and interesting. We're going to talk about Pokemon investing right after this. Alright guys, I'm Andy with Northwoods Collectors, and today we're going to go into something completely new, and we're going to talk about Pokemon investing, and also afterwards we're going to have a little bit more of a discussion to kind of dry out things out. That's going to be the new part of this video. I'm going to look for your feedback in the comments below. Let me know if there's something that you'd like to change in the channel. Overall, I'm always interested in constructive criticism from you guys to improve the channel, get you guys maybe more interesting, more topics that are better for you, for what you're trying to do on the outside. Once again, I have time to do research and I enjoy doing research. I don't sleep much, and it gives me an opportunity to be able to find these things and really put together a good display that might help not just yourself but more people in the community to maybe expand and grow in a direction. So once again, in the comments below, let me know what would you like to see changed in the channel. I'm always interested to hear what you guys have to say. And as always guys, if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and last but not least, hit that like button. So before we go any further into this and we don't have the discussion, we're going to take a look at what am I looking at investing into currently right now in the market. And the number two items that I am looking at right now is going to be your Silver Tempest and Lost Origins booster boxes. The reason I'm doing this is because the fact that we don't seem to be getting booster box reprints, and all that we're seeing is just slow moving upward pressure on every one of these sets. We go back to even Astral Radiance. Once again, we saw the ETB reprint of Astral Radiance, but we have not gotten a booster box reprint. And once again, we're seeing that consistently moving up in price. Right now, currently, Lost Origins, we got a price of about $168 a booster box currently right now on TCG Player. You can still find them on eBay right around that $148 to $152 they are currently selling at today. We can move into Silver Tempest, and Silver Tempest is a little bit lower in price. Granted that Lugia V is not driving as much of a premium as the Giratina V, and that's one of the factors I believe is why we're seeing that difference in price. That and the Lost Origins has a much stronger trainer gallery when it comes down to that Pikachu trainer gallery inside of Lost Origins, while Silver Tempest is more of a lower tiered trainer gallery inside of it and really driven on that Lugia V at the end of the day. So if we go ahead and take a look, the lowest price right now for a booster box on TCG Player of Silver Tempest is going to be $135 currently shipped to your door. And if you look on eBay and kind of check it out on there, you will see sales right around that 130 to 135 range. So it's pretty consistent between the two platforms at the end of the day when it comes down to that pricing. Yeah, you can usually find on eBay if you dig around and do auctions and things like that. We are seeing a little bit lower pricing, but the opportunity is still there to get in on some of these. Now, why am I saying that right now is the time to maybe be looking at investment in these products at the end of the day? It's because without reprints and without any kind of major changes when it comes down to Pokemon structure, when it comes down to their reprints, I could see these boxes continuing to move up rather quickly. I could see these boxes in the next 6 months even personally topping $200. Now, do I guarantee that it'll do that? Absolutely not. That's just the forecast I see based on how the actual sets have been performing. I think more and more people are still chasing the Giratina V. It's a very popular card. It's a very expensive card. Actually, at the end of the day, when it comes down to the pricing, it's organically growing in price more than the Moonbryon when it comes down to it. It doesn't have the hype and FOMO of the Moonbryon, but yet we're still seeing that particular alternate art continuing to move closer and closer to that 340, 350 range. It's kind of stagnated right there right now. But I think that as we move a little bit further into Scarlet and Violet, people are continuing to kind of backtrack, because Scarlet and Violet so far, of course, base sets and the first couple sets are always a little bit flat. We know that. That's pretty much how it comes out every single time we change into a different era. A new base set comes. Palette Evolved is definitely looking really decent. I think that there's a lot of actual potential for chase. Once again, you're going to get those starter alternate art packages inside of there, them trio of alternate arts through the different evolutions inside of them. Personally, I think that those will pick up in popularity as we're moving on. Right now, there's a lot of negativity towards Scarlet and Violet. You know, they think that a lot of people say that there's just no real chase cards in it. There's nothing that people want. But once again, you got to look at the more futuristic game plan on these sets, especially in the base set. You don't have trajectory or history of some of these. And sometimes at this price range and when it's first starting out on those Scarlet and Violet sets, you need to take a gamble a lot of times on them to try and decide which will have popularity 2, 3, 4 years, even 5 years in the future, not today. Just because you don't see the chase currently doesn't mean it's not there. It's just a matter of trying to decipher what's going to be popular in the future, which of course is the gamble that we take a lot of times in investing and playing the Pokemon market when it comes down to it. Once again, though, I think a lot of people are backtracking into the Sword and Shield eras, and I think that a lot of times we're seeing like this Lost Origins going up in price consistently. It did peak out at about 168, and it kind of been dropping down to 165, but overall it's staying right there at that price range over the last couple weeks. And then once again, we can go ahead and take a look at Silver Tempest just to give you a little price point. It was up to about 145, and now we're seeing prices go down to about 140. So once again, we're seeing about a $5 fluctuation right now up and down in price. And it's been kind of doing that for the last couple weeks. I do think that that's going to be temporary. So if this is something that you really are interested in and you see potential in, such as myself, it wouldn't hurt to try and snag some of these boxes, maybe even take your chances on some eBay auctions to try and get them around that 130, 125 range like we are seeing for the price with Scarlet and Violet. So overall, guys, that's where we are in the Pokemon investing right now. Those are the two sets that I'm really keying on right now. I'm really watching to see if we're going to be getting an ETB reprint or potentially a booster box reprint. It's not that I'm actually trying to purchase a large quantities right now. I'm just kind of scoping them and being ready for the potential of this happening. We just saw Brilliant Stars and Astral Radiance get reprints, so potentially we will be seeing that also with Lost Origins and Silver Tempest here in the near future if it hasn't already been announced and I just missed it being in the tractor. So other than that, guys, the next thing I want to talk about is just something that happened on the last video, and I did the PSA. First off, I'm going to play a new game every time that I'm working outside, and especially in the spring. We're going to play a game of what's on my hands. So today, this is the color of my hands. I'm not really opening packs right now. I don't open packs. I was looking at PSA cards because they're in the plastic. I will tell you guys, this is just embedded in my hands. This is just literally grease. Today I got silicone that's kind of sealed in the colorations. All the spots you see are literally just the silicone sealing in my pores so that the grease is stuck underneath it. The other day in the video, you saw blue coat on my finger. I had an animal that got hurt. We had to spray it with blue coat, which is disinfectant and sealant to prevent infection on an animal, and it stains your skin for a couple days after you put it on, and it wears off. But I did that morning, and then that night I did the video and didn't even think much of it. But it does not transfer. It doesn't go. I can hold white paper, white fabrics. It doesn't transfer, guys. It's just stuck in my hands, and I use Dawn and Gojo on a regular basis, and it just doesn't get it out. If you work on tractors and heavy equipment, you understand how this stuff gets buried. If you don't, then it's going to be really confusing on why I just don't go wash my hands. But trust me, I wash my hands a lot. But when it comes down to the videos, there was one comment that came up, and someone asked, why does he look so tired? And yes, it's because I am pushing until midnight on most nights, plowing field, disking, trying to keep the planter running and trying to get everything done that we would normally do end of April all the way into the June 1st, and that we are now doing in the last week and a half, 2 weeks here. So it's been crammed. We've lost about 2 weeks out of our season. And for insurance reasons, we need to have our crops in the ground by June 1st. So it is a push to get it all done by June 1st. So it kind of is what it is, and we're going to push through it. And we deal with the cards we're dealt, and we just move forward at the end of the day. But there was this comment that after that, he just said, Cars and Bikes put on a comment. Now, he was a member of the channel for quite a while. He had some really good points and always had some really good discussionary points in the past. And then he left the channel. He unsubscribed and kind of disappeared. And he put on here because his channel is failing and he's using fear for content. And that, if you actually watched the video, I wasn't using fear for content. If you actually watched the video, I was actually doing the opposite of that. Just to be clear, I was talking about the fact that people are claiming cards are stolen. People are saying that that cards are being taken out of factories. Once again, content creators are using fear of these things to create content and create viewership, while I was actually doing the opposite and going over the facts that, hey, these weren't stolen, and hey, these actually were released early. These weren't stolen products. Just because the content creators that you peg as always stealing products, they aren't necessarily stealing products, and this was a situation where they weren't. just to be clear on what that video was. And of course, that's going to be at the end of the video. You can go ahead and click back to that video if you'd like to check it out. And when I got back to it, of course, I don't think the channel is failing, in my personal opinion. I'm still seeing good growth. I'm getting new viewers, new subscribers. We have good content. The comment sections are blowing up now, which has been a big change from what it's been in the past. So we're seeing that growth in the comments and having the discussions on things. You guys are having good discussions down in the comment section. So it's been a really good time just watching some of the conversations that you're having and how things are going. Overall, when it comes down to analytics, I'm getting more views, I'm getting more subscribers, I'm getting more, everything is still growing up. It's been a little bit slower on the last couple videos because, of course, I haven't been consistent. When that video came out, I hadn't posted for a week due to the schedule that we're currently working with on the farm, but that's going to happen at this time of the year. The one thing I did think about after going through a conversation with him and talking about the channel and how things are going, one of these comments that he did put up here is he said the numbers don't lie. Of course, the video was slow, and I knew it would be not posting for a week. He put on here, boring content, very rinse and repeat. Nothing unique about what you do. There are hundreds of channels like this, sadly. And I do some new things. I will say that I've been trying some new things, and I continually sometimes throw out new content to see how it does, such as that cash and stash, just to see how you guys react to it and how it's helpful to you and if it is helpful. But I will agree with him that this channel has become kind of repetitive. It happens. I think any content creator kind of gets stuck in what was working for a long period of time, and sometimes we don't expand and we just kind of get stuck into that. So as an alternative to that, one thing that I am going to start doing in the channel is Jacob wants to start doing openings and being involved in the channel specifically. And we're going to start catering to that a little bit more here too, and doing a little bit more outside of the studio, doing a little bit more when we go to tournaments and actually play in like pre-release tournaments and have discussions with people outside of the hobby. Of course, we'll be doing the Choose Your Pat series. We'll be coming back. We already have a lineup. We have Professor Oak is already lined up for it. We have Nick from Old School, and then we have Pokemon Classics already joining us here, probably coming up in June. We're setting it up. Definitely working with Pokemon Classics with the school schedule, because I know the end of the year for schooling gets to be very difficult to sit down and schedule something until we get past that point. And also working on trying to get about 4 or 5 other people. I want to try and get a block of at least 6 to 7 individuals this time, make it a little bit longer of a series. This podcast has been kind of going in groups of 5 or 6 airings, and then we take a break. It just gives me a chance to kind of get the channel back in line, because when I do those, they're kind of a long format, which then less views, kind of hurts the algorithm, kind of takes it a different direction. So then I want to use the channel opportunities to bring it back in line and kind of get things straightened out, and that's why I've been taking little breaks in between it. But it's definitely, to me, a very important series to me. I think it gives people a direction, gives people an idea of what they could do when it comes down to, the overall directions in Pokemon, what's available to a lot of people. Because a lot of times, even myself, when I came back into it, you didn't see all of them. There's so many different directions in this hobby that it's really hard to see all of them, and that's the point of this, is to give people possibly directions that they didn't see, different opportunities that would be new to them that they didn't know about. And overall, I would like to continue to build on that with any content creator. So if you're a content creator and you want to talk about it, even if you're not a content creator, if you just want to tell us how you've been successful and what you've done in Pokemon and the path that you've taken, definitely get a hold of me on Instagram. Definitely hit me up on getting into the channel, because I would love to have the discussion with you and have a talk with you on the podcast on your path and what path you took to become successful and had fun, or whatever you've done in the Pokemon TCG. So once again, guys, I am going to start changing things up just a little bit. The more I sat in the tractor and thought about the conversation, the more in parts he's right. I will say that. Overall, channel is continuing to go up. Subscribers are coming in. We're definitely moving in the right direction. Personally, I think that I could probably still keep running it the way it is. But I do agree with him that a lot of times it just seems like I'm taking information and trying to rework it, wordsmith it, and definitely trying to change it to be a different viewpoint a lot of times. Sometimes, all these content creators give you the face of the coin. Sometimes you want to see the back of the coin, see what is actually happening, and really take the opportunity to look through it before you actually jump in and get stuck in that content. And that's what I've tried to do. But it's definitely a good point, and I agree with them that I am kind of been repetitive, especially the last couple weeks. It's just been busy for me to even think about changing. But Cash and Stash, that will be coming back. I'll be doing that as a monthly series, so we will definitely be checking that out here next week. So we'll be having another episode of that, and that'll be another good point to be talking about at the end of the day. So once again, guys, thank you guys for joining me. Thanks for sticking through. For anybody that did, and if you did this far and you're new, hit that subscribe, hit that notify, and last but not least, guys, hit that like button. It helps me out a ton. It helps out every content creator. Once again, I'd like you to help all content creators, not just myself. It definitely is a big factor for them at the end of the day. Other than that, I hope that this was good information, and hopefully you guys can help me out in the comment section by what you're looking for. Once again, sometimes you guys can be the best direction for the channel and what content is going to be the best for the channel. Overall, guys, thank you guys for watching. At the end, there will be 2 more videos for you guys to check out for your entertainment and information. We will see you next time here on Northwoods CCG.